Hey, this is Stacia, and I want to analyze my last game, and I thought you guys might be interested in this too. So let's go ahead and analyze this. I do want to learn some new opening theory. That's part of my goal here, since the game was not that difficult. But also, of course, analyze and see if I actually did find the best moves, because that is what I want to do in a chess game. I want to find the best moves. So this one went e4, e5, Italian game, knight f6, and d4. Now I can tell you that I went through a phase where I played knight g5. My chess trainer, international master Kevin Blocker, he says I should play knight g5 here because he wants me to learn how to defend his white down a pawn. But, I'm like, hey, can I please do that with black? I don't want to do that with white. What are you doing to me here? I suffered a couple games in that line, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing it. I can't. It just, emotionally, I don't like it. So, I found this move d4. Another move to play is d3. This is what all the grandmasters like to play. But, and also c3 is a move as well. Grandmasters play that too. And I have to say, between c3 and d3, I like c3 better. But d3 is also a move. And you just get sort of a closed, like, guaco piano, whatever it's called. I call it slow Italian. But, okay, d4, though, has a specific idea. The idea is that we are going to play a Scotch Gambit now. We will transpose into it. So after takes, I just castle. Okay, that is what I'm going for here. Another move you can play here is e5. I am aware of this because I play this position from the black side. And after this, I would play d5. And we do get... Actually, is that what I would play? Yes, I would. So after d5... I see this move a lot, and then I would play here. And then, okay, I'm going to reference the opening book because my reverse vision isn't so good. So after this, yeah, then maybe like knight takes d4. There's a lot of pressure here. Now, I think bishop c5 is a move here. And this is really interesting to me, actually, because it looks very natural to play bishop d7. In fact, that's the main move. But after bishop c5 in this position, white should be careful, right? Very careful. But it looks like we're crushing them on c6. So, like, what happens if we do take, for example? Like, these are the type of lines you need to calculate. Well, if you don't see this, then you should just quit chess. Okay, I'm kidding, but... if you don't see that, that's a pretty bad mistake. You've got to see that when you move your knight, they can take an f2. So now we calculate with that in mind. And what I would do with white is I would want to say here, because then if they take with check and I go king f8, I'm also attacking their queen. But then you got to look at stuff like queen h4 and make sure you're not just getting killed there, because they could just retreat the bishop here and just checkmate. So you got to be careful. And that, I feel like that's what chess is all about. You've got to actually, like, look at this kind of stuff and make sure you're right, because otherwise you lose the game, right? So it's very important. So I think here they should just play bishop e3. That's what I think. I don't think that white can get away with taking on c6. So now I will check the opening book. Opening book does say bishop e3. So I'm happy to see that. Now, if we do, now I use the engine just to get through this line. But I do think that after, because I know we're on a tangent here, I think that after this move, which does attack the queen, I mean, why not take here? It's with check. King f1 for sure. And then I thought the queen's attacked. Why not bring the queen like here or here, since that one's like covered by a pawn? It's definitely going to be queen h4. That is what the engine says. So I'm glad. So queen h4, it just protects the knight and it threatens to retreat the bishop and play queen f2 checkmate, and here the engine wants knight takes a7. Wow. Which is check. That's not the one I guess that makes sense. Check. Okay, and then they go bishop d7. Okay, this is getting very complicated now. King takes d7, and you have to evaluate, like, can your king be okay here? It doesn't seem like it. Like, I don't know. So I don't know what's happening anymore. It's getting wild, very wild. Computer says triple zeros, which in a position like this, it just means anybody can win, anybody can lose. There could be a draw. Like, because no one knows what's happening. Everyone's confused. That's my 1700 analysis. You're welcome. Also, I don't want to focus on that right now. But anyway, bishop c5 is a move. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And bishop e3 is probably the right move, because if you take on c6, you know, good luck. And there is a variation there too that is pretty straightforward, and I can't remember it now. I thought, let's say here, check. Oh, it's this, I think. King f8. We grab the rook, but here's the problem. Here's the problem. Bishop takes f2 check. Okay. Let's say king f1. Bishop a6 check. What do? You're basically mated. You're basically like Legal's mated. So you have to give up your queen now. It's the only move. So I've done this as black in a real tournament game. I've done it in many blitz games as well. So yeah, that bishop c5 move, it looks crazy, and it is, but it's also good. Yeah, don't challenge black on that one. They really, you really, after bishop c5 is, you should play bishop e3. And so why is that even a good move? Well, because you're getting your bishop to a good square. That's like, we're justifying. This is a move black wants. And all of that craziness simply justifies what black wants to do in that position and put their bishop on a good square. I mean, what's better, putting your bishop on c5 and being a move away from castling, or do you want to play this silly passive move, breaking a pin, right? So, all right, anyway, so there's your opening theory lesson and my review. So after e takes d4, I castled. They went bishop to c5. Now, I do know that the main move here is actually knight takes e4. Of course it is, right? It's a free pawn. You can go rook e1, and there's a line that justifies this, because after d5, it looks pretty dire for white, really, because your bishop's attacked, and black just got the center, and they just want a pawn, actually 2 pawns. Like, we sacked 1 pawn, and then we lost another pawn, and those pawns are in the center. So if we don't challenge that immediately, then white is definitely worse, and maybe losing. So here we have to have something, and we do, though. We can play here. And this bishop move looks silly. It's a sack, but queen takes, and here's the justification, knight to c3. We attack the queen, and we attack the knight. That knight cannot take, because guess what? It's pinned. So we're actually double attacking here, because knight's attacked twice, and the queen has to move. So queen has a few moves here. I do believe she has queen e5, like queen d8, queen d7, queen... I don't know, there's a bunch of moves here, but it doesn't really matter. This is the one I play as black. And then, you know, this happens, and this happens, and, you know, a lot of stuff can happen from here. So that's the main line. So I thought, I was expecting this knight takes e4 move. And instead what I saw in the game was this bishop c5 move, which I have seen before, and it's a real move. And this invites what's called the Max Lang attack, which I think is a... Who plays it, white or black? I don't actually know. I just know this position as the Max Lang attack. And I know you have to play e5 here. right? Like, because why not? I mean, that's sort of the point. We offer this pawns they can take, and if they do take, you play e5, you attack the knight on f6. That was basically the point. So here they decided to play d5. Now I will give you some of my secret opening prep here, which is in an actual tournament game against Scotty Robinson. I don't think he knew the theory, and he played here, which looks very logical. He played knight to g4. It rotates the knight and attacks the very pawn that we just pushed, and it's very hard to defend. But here I think we have some really, really nice ideas. We can play like c3, for example. And after c3, let's say they take here. Okay. One thing I want to do is play queen d5. That looks kind of nice, doesn't it? It would attack the bishop and attack f7. I think the problem with this move is just queen e7, which would literally defend that pawn and defend the bishop at the same time. So if that's the case, then you automatically know this is the move. You got to take instead, because this is more forcing. Now there's no time for queen e7. Now they take here, and then we go check. And that should win material. Now, is this actually best, though? I'm not sure, because we have another move, too. If they do take, we could also think about knight g5. Also definitely something to think about, because guess what? That pawn's still on d7, which means the bishop is not protecting that knight, which means it's free, right? It means it's free. So after something like, let's say king g8, I would definitely take here. We have no pieces to get hit by d5. So this should be quite good. And we're also threatening this still. So I like all this. So anyway, that was sort of my, so I'm giving you this because after e5 and knight g4, I think this c3 move is really quite good. They'll be very tempted to take. And if they do, we get this stuff with bishop takes. Oops, bishop takes f7. But not queen d5. I don't think queen d5 is fast enough. It's a little too slow. They have an answer to that one, but okay. So after castles, bishop c5, e5, they played the theory line, which is d5. And I do know this to be called the Max-Ling attack. And now we pretty much got to take that knight. We take, they take. This happened in the game. And in this position, we have two moves. I'm not really sure if it matters which one. I'm looking at the engine now. No, it doesn't matter. They're both roughly the same. It likes this one slightly better, but who knows why. If I let it run longer, it'll change its mind. And I just turn off the engine. We take. I like this. It's a forcing move. I like forcing moves. I like to keep the initiative. So I gravitate towards this kind of thing where we check the rook. The rook counterattacks our pawn. But now you're never castling kingside, that's for sure. And it's going to be maybe a while before you castle queenside as well. So I like this approach better. And then, of course, check. This is the idea. We're going to check that king. And here they play the move played in the game, which is bishop to e6, plugging the e file. Okay, it makes a lot of sense. And now bishop g5. This is theory. And the idea is really nice, actually. The idea is that black doesn't have like a good move here. I mean, they do, but it's very not intuitive. Black wants to do something like, you know, just move their queen. Just move their queen to d5, and I'll show you what happens. If they move their queen to d5, which they went to d6 in the game, but this is actually something I have in my opening files, queen d5, because it looked natural to me, so I analyzed it. I'm like, what do I do if they go queen d5? Well, number one is that they're not castling, right? We stop them from castling. So this is great. This bishop's here. It's looking pretty good. F6, we take it. H6, we take it. So it's kind of annoying. It's kind of annoying. They have a problem. They can't get out. They can't castle. And they're stuck in this pin as well. This is very problematic. How do we take advantage of this? Well, I'm so glad you asked. We play knight to c3. This is a beautiful move. And it's looking more and more familiar by the day. But, you know, if they take our knight, I take their queen. And you're like, well, so what? I take with a bishop. Except for one thing. There's a pin. So you just lose the queen. So you can't take this knight. But yeah, what do you do? Do you go here? Because if you just move your queen, then I bring the knight into e5, and now I'm threatening some mean things, like check. And by the way, you still can't castle. So with this knight in the center, attacking the bishop and threatening this check, you know, I like white a lot already, but okay, let's say that they play something here. I'm trying to remember my file now. I mean, we're actually threatening to check there, right? I forget the right move for black. I'll just ask the engine for the best move because I don't remember. Oh, it wants this, but I mean, okay, great. I mean, you took, okay, taking a pawn makes some sense. In this position, I think what we do, ooh, yeah, I think I remember now. I think we go here. And this is beautiful. This queen is actually trapped. If I do recall. Where's the queen go? Can't go here, can't go here, can't take. If you go here, maybe f3. I think so. I think f3 is good enough. So can't go there. Can't go here. Can't go. If you go here, I have check. If you go here, I have check. So the queen's literally trapped. Now it's the engine now to make sure. It's giving rook takes g5, and it's saying that white's only plus 1.4 better. But I mean, okay, that wins material. I mean, can't be too unhappy about this, right? And why don't I take the queen? Can I take the queen? Actually, I would take the queen. Yeah, and then after rook takes f5, saving it from that attack and kind of setting up something. The engine actually wants g4. Oops, king g4, amazing move. No, g4. And all right, but I mean, that should be winning. I'm kind of surprised it only says plus 1.6 there, because I thought it's winning, and usually my opponents resign. So I don't know, but it's good preparation, and it helps you understand why the move that is played, because after this, check here and here, the move that is played is not queen d5 or queen to d6. It's actually bishop to d7. d7, e7. Because this does not look like a desirable move, right? Like, usually if you develop your knight, let me start over. If you develop your bishop to a square, such as c5, that should be a good square, right? Like when you make that decision to put the bishop on that square, that should be the right square. So it is not natural to like pull back then and put it on a more passive square. It's not exactly natural. It happens a lot, but it's not what you want to do. What you want to do is simply move your queen and have an awesome position. That is what you want to do. Unfortunately, we already saw why queen d5 doesn't work. And in my game, queen d6 happened, but I'm telling you right now that in the main line, it's bishop e7. And after takes, you know, black can actually take with a queen or a king. Both are playable. Let's say queen, I don't know. And then we can win our pawn back with this. I guess we're up a pawn, technically. But they're going to win this one back too. So after something like, I'll just check the theory. I don't feel like thinking about this one. It gives rook d8 here, which makes a lot of sense. I would probably go c3. Yep, that's the move. And then knight takes, and then c takes, and then here. Okay, so it's equal pawns, and I guess black is like kind of holding here. But yeah, it's kind of it's just position, right? It's just position, and I would think white's slightly better. Let me see what the engine says. Yeah, white's slightly better. Okay, so that's kind of how it should go. Now let's see in this game. Because after bishop b7, it goes like that, but they played queen d6 in the game. And now I started considering like those lines with queen d5 and like trapping the queen and all that. I'm like, what's going on here? Because they can't castle, which is annoying, and I've got a lot of pressure on this f6 square. So I played the move knight b to d2. This is what I found. Turns out this is the best move, so I'm really happy to see that one. Okay, let's turn the engine back off. All right, queen d5. Now they go queen d5. So now I'm thinking, like, how do I transpose into that trap line that I know? But also, they're wasting a lot of tempos. So there might just be, like, just something good. Now, I went knight e4, which seems pretty pedestrian, but probably correct as far as I can tell. So I'm going to ask the engine now. And it does say knight to e4 is the top move, and it's plus 1.4. Okay, so I'm happy for that. And I'll turn it back off. What the? I clicked review by accident. Okay. They went bishop b7 finally now. But it's kind of too late, right? Because they wasted 2 tempos. That's going to be a big deal, I would think. So I can probably just take it. I didn't take it. But lucky for me, it's an exclam. Yay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how exclam it is. I mean, it's kind of like, in my opinion, kind of okie dokie. And it's like, take my bishop. Good job. You know, I mean, a good player won't do that. So it's kind of silly. But I also thought, though, that it's annoying because I think they would like to take me. But after bishop f6, they really can't. And I maintain my pressure and attack this pawn. And I thought this has to be the best move. Because it is annoying. I've been in these positions where you want to take a piece and you cannot do it because you see some tactic. And it's not necessarily easy to get out of it. And that is the case here. So was that the best move? That was the engine. Let's see if it was. Oh my gosh, it was the only like really good move. All right, so bishop f6. So I'm happy with that. And maybe studying the opening helped me find this move. So I'm happy with that. They played bishop to g4 now. Turn the engine back off. Now in this position, I went bishop takes e7. I thought I didn't come to like a very concrete conclusion here, but I thought for 3 minutes, and I saw enough stuff that was like, yeah, this has to be it. Like, how could this not be it? So is this true? Let's find out. Bishop takes e7 is right. Okay, so I'm happy with that. And then they went... I'm pretending like I'm turning on the engine, but like I think like sometimes it's just popping up too. But I don't look at it until I look at it. I promise you that. So after takes, I played knight c3 check. Yeah, this is what I calculated actually. Because I was worried about this move. I was worried about takes. And here, which does check, and fork the two pieces. And I thought they might just have king takes f6. And oh my gosh. Computer says black's winning here. Which is unbelievable. It almost like breaks my heart that chess could be like this. Really? The king's on f6 and black's winning? But I did have a bad, I'm glad though, because I did have a bad feeling about this variation. And I kind of realized that there's no like follow-up here. Like, what do we do? I didn't find a follow-up here. In fact, I'm pinned, attacked, and I can't do much. I can't do much. I have no way to immediately attack the king, and they could play here and here. And I did see issues here, so I didn't go for this. So, yay, maybe I'm getting better at chess. I don't know. But I decided to go with this one, which is more straightforward. Like, I'm just going to take your queen. That's pretty straightforward. So they go here, I take it. I thought about waiting here, but I thought it was very risky, actually, because if I just wait, like I was thinking about knight b5. I thought they might go like here. Computer says this is garbage, I see. I just go, what? I just go here. Wow, that's just savage. I just take a pawn. I don't care. And your knight's actually pinned, so. And otherwise, I'm going to take and then take. And if you take here now, you know, I probably just play rook takes e5. Yeah, I do. And yeah, the knight's super active too. I've got, oops, threats. Not that, sorry. Not that great with my mouse yet. I will be though. All right, so there you go. So in the game, it went takes, check. I took the queen because, you know, it's a queen. And I just go knight b5. I didn't really analyze this too much, but it says it's good. There. Okay, we're winning now. I think everyone can agree we're winning. Oh, yeah, and they played there, which is a huge blunder, of course, because, you know, pawn takes rook is a good move. Pawn takes rook, so, all right. So I guess that means I won my last 3 training games, which I didn't play incredibly well. It's just that, like, sometimes I think online chess is a little sporadic. Like, sometimes you get some easy games, and you're like, wow, like, why is their rating what it is? And sometimes you get games where you're like, wow, why is their rating what it is? Because they play so well. So, but hey, being at 1806, I can't complain too much. So that would be that. Oh, actually, I only played 2 games, actually. I think I was about to play a third, but instead I analyzed. But that's going to be it for me tonight. So I hope you enjoyed the chess, and I'll be back with more. Okay, bye.